Hi, I'm Pierce County Executive Bruce Dammeier. Welcome to a special presentation featuring our amazing award-winning Pierce County employees, whose innovative work is creating safer communities, more efficient processes, and improved access to housing. This year's theme is County Strong, County Wide. First, let's learn how marinas and recreational boaters are taking advantage of a wastewater pump that comes directly to you.
In 2018, the Washington State Department of Ecology designated all of Puget Sound a no discharge zone. So if you're a boater, it's illegal to discharge your black water overboard. We have very few pump outs. The ones that existed are broken, weren't maintained, engineered, designed poorly, and trying to put that infrastructure in place at fixed positions at locations is very, very expensive.
The South Puget Sound Mobile Pump Out program is meant to make it easier for boaters to be good stewards, to pump their sewage and to protect the water quality, protect the shellfish.
Our program is based out of Gig Harbors, where we keep one boat, and at Long Branch Marina out in Flusy Bay. So with having two boats, we cover all of the South Puget Sound. Think of places like Anderson Island, Oro Bay, Penrose State Park, Delano Bay that's next to it.
We want to make it as easy as possible. Let's bring the boat to you.
Often people are out having fun, they're not thinking about the waste in their vessels, and so suddenly his boat shows up. And it's like, oh, hey, come over here. We could really use you.
It's fabulous. Now I can go to Gerald Cove and McMicken and Penrose, and I don't worry about how long I'm out. It's great.
If you're on the water from May through October on a weekend, you'll see Paul out there.
Do you need a pump out, Jim? I'll be right there.
We've extended to Fridays and Mondays, especially focused around those holiday weekends, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. It increases their boating time and opportunity. It increases where they can go and travel, how long they can stay. There's several ways to use the service. During the season, you can look on the side of the boat, it says VHF 68, you can call. On the boat, there's a big flag, 10 foot tall, that says free pump out. Human waste has a few bad things in it. Fecal coliform and E. coli. So that jeopardizes water quality. So beaches can be closed, shellfish growing areas can be closed.
South Puget Sound is one of the largest shellfish growing areas in the state.
There's an economic impact to job, the economy, to recreational trends. If your water's bad, they're not boating here, they're not gonna come to these destinations and spend their money and enjoy their vacation. So keeping the water clean has an impact far beyond just the environment.
We've had a pilot program, 2021-2022, really expanded it during that time, and 2023 has just been fantastic. We're very excited about how successful this program has been.
We are becoming a model for programs around the country, really. They want to know what we're learning, they want to know how we put it together.
Boaters, they're at these remote locations in Pierce County, and they're seeing bald eagles, and they're seeing orcas, and they're seeing baby seals on the beach. And knowing that they're keeping their human waste out of the water also is a benefit to the overall environment that they're out there to enjoy.
Now we'll meet the Pierce County employee who led the charge in providing basic needs and a sense of belonging to Ukrainian refugees.
Trish is the grant coordinator for Human Services, and from the beginning of our awareness that we were going to see this influx of Ukrainian arrivals into the county, Trish stayed up to date on funding opportunities. We ended up submitting 2 applications for funding from the Washington State Department of Commerce, and we received a total of $750,000 in support funds.
In October, I was approached by a member of the long-term Ukrainian community here in Pierce County about some immediate needs for mattresses and clothing. We had some money to do that with our grant, and we realized it wasn't going to be enough. We put out a call to have boxes where staff could bring their new and gently used clothing and We had 10 boxes that were out over a 2-week period, and I had to go and pick up some of those sites 2 or 3 times because they were filling them up so much.
Trish's energy around this effort was really infectious. I think she had just a real drive and passion to help those who were fleeing a pretty terrible circumstance.
The Helping Hands event that was held in December at Tacoma Community House was an amazing event where there were multiple partners who were helping the Ukrainian families. They were providing basic household items and personal items, as well as all the clothing that the generous county employees were able to provide.
One of the most important things that Trish did was to really listen to the community and what their needs were. Trish is a really wonderful combination of caring and effective. She brings people together and has a real sense of the purpose behind why she's doing so.
The thing that touched me the most was that there were families that didn't arrive together. They were staying to just build relationships with other new arrivals so that they were building a new community here, and there was so much gratitude. I've just been so blessed to be able to work with this because I'm just a small part of it, but it was amazing to be that small part.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to a team who helped our local seniors learn about valuable property tax exemptions.
We hear quite often that once people retire and their income is reduced, their ability to pay the property tax is really taxed. So we're always trying to find new ways to reach people that might not yet have heard about exemptions that are available to seniors and disabled. And the Affordable Housing Partnership really wanted to help us get that word out.
They wanted us to do meet and greets and go out to the different cities within Pierce County to see if we can get more people on the program who probably qualify and just don't know about the tax exemption.
So us as a team, we went out and we presented the property tax seminars. So we went out, we handed out applications, presented how to go through the application, how to complete it properly, and then answered questions.
Some people want to hear it firsthand, and so when they saw ads for this event in their neighborhood, they came out for it.
The more rural areas, like Key Peninsula, had a great turnout. It was standing room only when we were there.
I went to the Gig Harbor seminar. A lot of the feedback was that they liked being able to come in person, and it's also closer to them, so they didn't have to come across the bridge to come to Tacoma, so it was more accessible and convenient for them.
As the ball got rolling, then other partners fell in from County Human Services, who also are trying to reach senior and disabled folks.
This team hasn't gone out and done outreach in person, so it's nice to get out there to be accessible to people and meet them where they're at.
Some people who didn't raise their hands because maybe they just didn't feel comfortable, they were just still able to come to us in the end to talk to us personally for that one-on-one time.
I'm very, very proud of our team and how they just embraced this. People put on their thinking caps and thought, here's a good idea, and then we would try it and it would work.
What we're here for is to be able to help them understand a little bit about what we do, and we want to provide a welcoming environment for them.
Quentin Brown is the man responsible for alerting the Pierce County Sheriff's Department to some suspicious vehicle orders. You'll want to hear him tell the story in his own words.
A typical morning starts with me arriving at work at about 4:30 in the morning. Get in, open up the shop. The very first thing I do is check my vehicle status because I want to know where my cars are at. And then from 6:30 until I leave at the end of the day, it's constant either admin work or backing up the guys here in the shop.
This 3-person shop services a 650 vehicle fleet. Not only day-to-day in the maintenance and operations of the fleet, but the acquisition of vehicles.
What made the morning of March 22nd different? Well, it was the fact that when I logged on to the website that we order vehicles from to check my vehicle status, I saw vehicles there that I don't buy.
He knew we didn't order those vehicles.
I can't believe this is happening. These 7 vehicles, I didn't order these. The first thing that went through my mind in that moment was I need to notify the dealer immediately that these aren't our vehicles. I didn't place this order and somebody else did using our name. It was at that point that I contacted my superiors.
I think it was Quentin's supervisor called me and said, geez, we've had this incident. 7 vehicles were purchased purportedly by Pierce County.
By 9:15, I believe I had contacted the dealers. He told me that, well, they've been delivered. And I explained to him, well, they were not delivered to a Pierce County facility. He provided me with the delivery address. I Googled that address and it came up to just a normal residence in the east side of Tacoma. And I told him, I said, I'm going to drive by that address and see if the vehicles are in fact there and I will get back to you. And sure enough, there was a few vehicles parked at that house still.
It's somebody outside of Pierce County, no connection or relationship to anybody in Pierce County, who just made this up and carried it off. And they found a willing dealer, and the dealer didn't ask any questions.
So now the fun part begins.
Quentin was already all over it.
I contacted one of our detectives within 15 minutes of that phone call. They had an automotive task force deputy en route with an undercover team surrounding the house. They're doing surveillance on it, they're looking for the cars, and I had a detective here at the garage getting all the notes, all the information. Then I start getting phone calls. We got the first car, we got the second car, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
In addition to being the county's fleet manager, Quentin Brown is a reserve sheriff's deputy. So he not only knows that world, but knows exactly who within that world to reach out to.
I was able to listen in on my radio to them tracking all these vehicles and taking them down, and they did it flawlessly. It was insane.
Pierce County Sheriff's Department, step out of the vehicle.
If Quentin Brown hadn't caught on to this happening first thing in the morning, it wouldn't have been as clear as to who stole them, how they stole them, and what trail law enforcement could follow in order to recover both the vehicles and the perpetrators.
A little after 7 o'clock that night, they had all the vehicles recovered and they were all parked down here at the fleet garage. My reaction was, this is awesome. That was a lot of cars. It was a high dollar amount of vehicles, and it makes you feel real good inside.
3 people ended up in jail that night. End of story. Extraordinary.
We have a fantastic variety of food trucks here in Pierce County. Let's learn about the new and improved fire inspection process for those food trucks.
Food trucks for a long period of time had no codes written in the International Fire Code at all. It was kind of this morphed thing that not many people knew how to inspect.
Really, food truck inspections were based on local jurisdictions and or counties, cities, whatever requirements they had. So if you are a food truck owner, you never really knew where you had to have the permit. And I think that they felt that there was too much regulation.
Why should they have to go through multiple inspections every jurisdiction they work in? So King County and the Washington State Fire Marshals Association came up with a program that had an inspection list. It's very clear, concise, it's very easy to follow, that any jurisdiction could do this.
Russell Armstrong came to me talking about doing this regional food truck inspection program. Right off the bat, I thought it was a phenomenal idea. Why not get in front of the problem, fix it, and make it fair and equitable for all these folks that are traveling around? And we started to move from there.
My business is Boss Mama's Kitchen Food Truck, and we focus on good old American comfort food. The main permits that we need to operate the food truck is the mobile food unit permit from the Pierce County Health Department. We also need a fire inspection to be able to roll out as well.
We have 2 options for them to come to the county annex, and then Central Pierce also has 2 options for them to come to one of their stations. So it's really just half hour of their day, come in, get the inspection, be done with it for the year. And I think the biggest benefit is that they can operate in a 3-county area with 1 inspection. And those inspections are free of charge.
The fact that it's kind of like a one-stop shop, like this is the one place that we can go. For Pierce County, we know that we are covered. So if any other fire jurisdiction is like, hey, have you been inspected? We have the paperwork that says, yes, we have. There's a sticker that the fire departments give us that we have on the wall.
We do a lot of inspections at different events like the Pierce County Fair, where there's a lot of food trucks. And so now with that sticker, our inspectors can see that we've already done it, so that saves them and the vendors a lot of time.
Now that we're coming up on a year that we've been running this program, we can approach the agencies again and kind of show the success of this so that county-wide, we know that we have safe running food trucks.
We've updated our website with a lot of information and other documents people can access regarding the inspection to make processes easier for them.
I can honestly say that it has been great working with Russ, working with Ken. Pierce County's been great for us. It's all about safety, and they want to make sure that we're doing business right and that we're safe while we're doing it.
I think when we're able to reach out to that small business owner, provide them that service so they can go do what they do, it's a success.
I'm humbled each day by the hard work and dedication of Pierce County staff. And today, I'm honored to recognize some of our 35-year civil servants.
Hi, I'm Denise Johnson. I'm the clerk to the council, and I have been with Pierce County for 35 years.
Hi, I'm Mike Kawamura. I'm with the Department of Assigned Counsel, and I've worked for Pierce County for 35 years.
My name's Roger Ward. I currently work at the Court Security Unit, and I've been working with Pierce County for 35 years.
I like geography. I got a degree in geography, and cartography was the track that I chose. There were other people that were taking the planning track and environmental studies and that sort of thing, but I liked drawing the maps and doing things the old-fashioned way.
I came to the Sheriff's Department in 1988. My first police car I was assigned was an LTD-2, which was a small four-door LTD. When you drove it fast, the brakes several times would catch fire, which means it wouldn't damage the car, but the brakes themselves would smoke and you'd see some flame coming off them.
I wanted to get into the courtroom, and this was a good way to do that. And then after actually representing people, getting to understand their stories and what was going on with them, I think it kind of hooked me.
Oh, the old-fashioned budget seasons were like midnight. I can remember the presentation of the budget took hours, but we don't have long meetings like that anymore. Probably for health reasons.
We used to carry big map books around. If you weren't familiar with the area, you'd have to pull off the side of the road, take a look at the map book and figure out how to get there. And now it's instantaneous.
I like the work I do because of the people that I work with.
I can remember starting under Dennis Flanagan. He started the no smoking ban in Pierce County, which everyone like, no way. So I often think about that when I walk into restaurants.
Growing up with other people and having mentors and seeing people in turn do the same thing, I think those are kind of the best memories for me.
Working in the schools out at Peninsula High School was my favorite job on the department. My wife was a teacher at the time, so we'd have something to talk about every night. Either something happened at her school or something happened at my school. And I did that for 3.5 years. That's probably my favorite job.
For the people that are watching this video right now, you probably just came from work, and I understand that, that's great. But I just got back from a vacation. I'm actually retired, so I'm on like that permanent vacation, and it's not a bad thing.
I like my council family when I was appointed to the clerk of the council. That's something that I will always treasure and always value. Council at the time trusted me, and the councils after that trust me. That's very important to me. Very important, sorry. Weep, weep.
Last, but certainly not least, let's recognize some of our 40-year veterans. 4 decades, that's commitment. We're so grateful for their contributions to Pierce County. Dennis Bilderback and Larry Butner, we would love to hear some of your stories.
I started here as a maintenance technician. I had worked on Pierce County projects through a manufacturer. We had 7 people on the maintenance staff. We had a small shop up where the environmental services building was.
I was an unemployed iron worker. I went back to Fort Steilacoom Community College and worked as a seasonal employee on the golf course. That turned into a full-time position in 1983.
This site here, there was a 300-foot mountain of sand in front of us because this was a live mining site at that time. No golf course.
When I first started, there was no Foothills Trail. There was no Heritage Park. There was no Fantasy Lights. Everything's changed.
Well, when I first came here, I came here from Everett, Washington. I drove down 512 and I thought, why did they put a freeway here? This freeway's empty. I understand why now.
I think parks are huge for the community. I mean, when they're building 6 homes per acre, nobody really has a yard to play in anymore. There's not a lot to do unless you can get to a park. And of course, our parks are busy, very busy.
One of the big milestones is obviously Chambers Creek Treatment Plant. The last upgrade was about 6 years ago. It was a $350 million upgrade. We have 750 miles of sewer lines that we maintain. So we're bringing wastewater from all over the county. I mean, ultimately, our goal here is to keep the water clean.
I enjoy the work. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the outside work. I could be 60, 70 feet in the air on a light tower over at Sprinkler one day, and I could be 3 or 4 feet in a ditch the next day fixing septic lines.
It's not hard to be motivated here. There's challenges every day. I get bored with things pretty quick, so here I've been challenged throughout the entire 40 years. We're always building something, we're always looking at new technologies, we're always innovating.
So being the longest one right now, I'm able to share a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of new people just trying to figure out where things are, why they are. I hope to just share the knowledge. I don't want to take it with me, it won't do me any good.
I enjoy the people that work here. If you have a good group of people that are a positive force, you can do great things.
Thank you to all the staff and departments throughout Pierce County, and especially to those we've highlighted here today. Their work makes it possible to serve the people of Pierce County. Thanks for watching.